Welcome everyone to Smart Investing. This is the time for the market update. Another good day. This is the third day that we have a positive return for the S&P 500, the QQQ and the IWM, and most of the stocks in the market. So let's go straight into the chart and let's go through the update. Thanks so much. So the QQQ has 2.78%. So you can see from the chart that they are right back at the high of the first dead cat bonds. So obviously we had a dead cat bonds from the bottom, and then we have a jump of more or less 10% in one go. And you can see that the cat was falling back 50% retracement, and now it's back on top of that first dead cat bond. So we will see now if the market will continue to rally to the next target, which is 485. You can see the RSI is now neutral at 50, and you can see the volume is still very, very, very low. So we don't have much volume in the market. We would expect much more volume than what we have, but we don't have so much. So now we still enjoy a very positive market so far, so we hopefully that the market will not close the gap that we have at yesterday, but if it does that, then it will retrace back to fill the gap and then continue its upside. But I think we have probably passed the worst, because some of the earnings that we had so far were very, very good, and I think the momentum will continue today. After the market close, we will have the report, the earnings of Google. I think it's a big earnings that the market is waiting. So let's see how things goes. But if the earnings are good for Google, then I think the market will probably rally on that. So SPY up 2%. The same story, you see. Rebounded from the low dead cat bonds, then falling back 50% retracement, then back to the high of the dead cat bonds. Same story. So now you see why you shouldn't sell during the market crash. We are about 15% up from the down. So if you sold here at the bottom, you see you've missed already a rally of 14%. If you have 6-figure portfolio like me, then this is we are talking about 5 figures at least rebound, so that you are missing. So if you have, for example, a portfolio of 400,000, you sell at the low, that means you've lost hold on now. You've lost 20%, that means you've lost 100,000, so you just have 400,000, and you've missed a rebound of 40,000. So that means almost half of your loss you would have recovered. And now you have actually locked down the loss, and you are losing your money forever. So now for you psychologically to go back in the market at this level, you would think that it will go back down again, and this is a psychological game. You're not going to win. Anyway, hopefully you have not sold, and you have followed my advice not to sell during this very difficult time, during this very challenging time. So the VIX is coming down again, 7%. 7%, the VIX is continuing its way down. I think it will go down to the next target of 23. 23 is a very important support line, and let's see if it will break the 23 level next week. But I believe that 23 will be probably reached by tomorrow. All the sectors of the S&P 500 were up, you can see, except for the consumer staples that were slightly down of minus 0.88, but the rest of it is all positive. You can see also the MAX 7 is up 3% today. A very, very good day for the MAX 7, and we also up almost to the high of the first dead cat bonds. And mostly we can see that Amazon is up 3%, Netflix 4.5%, Nvidia 3.62%. You see Nvidia, even during the worst of the crisis, it's all really firm. It's $100 level. It went slightly only 1 day or 2 days below 100, but then it recovered very, very fast above 100, which really showed the resilience of Nvidia. Tesla is up again on 3.5%, which I think for me is extraordinary. How can a stock like Tesla just didn't collapse after the earnings did? But anyway, that's the way it is in the market. Sometimes you have to, if you have a strong base that believe into what you will do in the future and so on, then I believe that this is what happened. Nobody is selling, so the stock is holding really well. AMD 4.5% today, up still very, very low range. And if you go back to the 100, probably $100 will be the next resistance level. So hopefully it will go back to 100 very, very soon. SMCI up 9%, still trading sideways from the worst of the crisis. Palantir also 7% up, wants to reclaim the all-time high. Earnings will be the 5th of May. Actually, a lot of earnings will happen this week, tomorrow actually, and next week. So I think next week will make the market or break the market. So that's why you have to hold on to your investment, not to panic. I think the earnings will be better than people expect. And that will be the story of that earnings season. Euro dollar, you see the euro is back up slightly, 0.67. Bitcoin slightly down, but mostly flat during the day, minus 0.17. IWM up again, 2%. What it should do, the first target will be to reach the 200 level. The 200 level, you remember, that's the upper side of the trading channel that they've been trading for the last 5 years, 6 years. For the last 5 years, sorry. And if it breaks the 200 level, then maybe we can go back and reclaim slowly the then we can reclaim back slowly the all-time high of 240. Then we will see what will happen with the small cap. I think the small cap is probably more an investment that is more driven by the cuts of the Fed rate. I think when the Jerome Powell will start to cut the rate again, I think this is where we're going to see a strong rally to the small cap. So if you don't want to play the treasury, maybe playing small cap is also another way for you to play the interest rate decrease from the Fed. Other than that, mostly a very good day, you know, nothing to complain. You can see SoFi plus 4.8%, Snowflake plus 7%, PayPal plus 3.4%, Planet 13 Holding plus 17%, Okta plus 3%, Novo Nordisk plus 2%, Nio plus 6%. I mean, all the high beta stocks were up dramatically. I mean, United Health collapsed after the earnings, but today it's mostly flat, minus 0.87. I was actually thinking about selling a put on United Health for 1 month because it's very much down. And you see it broke the lower level of the trading channel back in 2022. You see it was trading within this channel for a long time, and that support was 452, and it broke that long-term support 450. I believe that it will go back to that level, but let's see how it goes the next few days. And probably I will sell a put around that level of 450. So now if we go to the economic data, today we had very important economic data, at least on the job report. And then you can see that the numbers has been very good, you know, continuous jobless claim 1,841, expected 1,880. Pretty much a bit lower than the forecast, and which actually showed that there is no damage at all in the job market. Initial jobless claim is 222,000, expected 222,000, prior 216. So you see pretty much in line. Nothing really showed that the job market is deteriorating. So the Fed is not in a hurry to cut rate. Existing home sales are slightly down. I mean, you see, overall the market is very good, and we have nothing really to. Economic data are still showing good numbers. So it's very difficult to be bearish at this point in the market. We also know that from the headline that a lot of people are waiting the Fed to cut rate, which is funny because 3 days ago they were saying that no way that the Fed will cut rate. So yeah, that's why you shouldn't really follow the headlines on all these papers, because one day they say one thing, the other day they say the opposite. So apparently Trump said that US talking with China on trade after Beijing denial. So basically China say no, they are not talking with US, but actually US say they are talking with China. So it's a bit of a game of who is actually saving face or being the one who make the first step, you know. Anyway, what is more important is to actually have an idea that they are starting to talk about the tariff, and that they are starting at least to initiate negotiation around the tariff. Other than that, if we look at the main headline, nothing about the economy, you know. Zero tariff would be most efficient between EU and US deal. So I think it would be good if we have a zero rate between the US and Europe. Why not? At the end of the day, this is what is really truly a free trade agreement. You have no tariff for both sides. And I think this is what Donald Trump team wants. They want. So today we had earnings of few major companies. ServiceNow reported an excellent quarter, exceeding expectation across various metrics. Stock reaction to share surged by 16%, contributing significantly to the tech sector rally. So you see, all positive, you know, no need to dramatize. If you had sold during the crisis your ServiceNow, that you would actually miss that surge of 16% in one day. Texas Instrument performance delivered positive earnings, leading to nearly 7% rise in the stock price. Again, a stock that is in the technology sector that is highly positive. Help drive gains in the semiconductor sector. Merck's, it's more like a pharmaceutical company performance, reported Q1 revenue, a 2% decrease year over year. Key product, Keytruda sales grew 4%. Basically, non-GAAP EPS were $2.22. Pfizer performance achieved 5% increase in GAAP revenue to 5.13 billion EPS, GAAP CPS. The guidance were growth of 10% to 12%, so not bad. Union Pacific, Chipotle also performance, total revenue 2.9 billion, up 6.4% compared to years ago. Valero Energy, Bristol Myers, also pharmaceutical companies. Overall, the earnings today were quite good, beating expectation and with good guidance. So that's why the market is not worried at all. Tomorrow, tomorrow we have few company earnings like ABB, Vi, Colgate-Palmolive, HER Healthcare, Aeon and Philips. So nothing really so dramatic and important. So basically tomorrow, no important earnings to really care about. The big techs, so all the FANG, report next week. So next week, stay tuned. This is a very important week for the earnings season and also to see what will be the direction of the market, especially on the QQQ and Max 7 and all the semiconductors. I mean, we will have the real numbers and we will see if really all these fear were warranted or if we are just panicking for nothing. Anyway, the people who hold firm the investment will be rewarded because you will see all your loss and all your red becoming green again. Or if you have top up and DCA, then you will go back to profit very, very quickly, because your break even will be much lower than it was before the crash. Having to really not panic. This is the bottoming process. We are now, the worst is behind us. I'm pretty convinced about this, unless there is a black swan event or another key drivers to collapse the market, which I don't think will happen again, because I mean, let's be honest, and the worst is behind us. So I think that from now on you can start to invest as normal, and you can start to stop panicking and just start to even DCA if you didn't DCA when the VIX was at the maximum. And hopefully we're gonna see each other tomorrow after the market close. We will see what Google was reporting and what their earnings will be. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe and like and leave a comment in the comment section. Thanks so much. See you next time.